Okay, so let me do this then. Okay, so I'm going to call to order this meeting of the Soldiers Memorial Commission, City of St. Louis Soldiers Memorial Commission. Today is Thursday, March 24th, 2024, and it's 3:03 p.m. And we're going to proceed according to the agenda. And my name is Linnea Magnuson, and I chair the commission. And let me just share my screen here. Okay. Oh, that's not what I wanted to see. Let's see here. Let me get this up here. Hold on a second. This is not, oh, Christ's sakes. What did I do here? Okay, here we go. There we go. There we go. That's what we want to see. That's much better. Okay. So first we'll do the roll call of Soldiers Memorial Commissioners, and we'll do this in alphabetical order, starting with Commissioner Corinne Barget. Is Corinne here? I know I saw her.
It was on the screen. Maybe
here.
she's on
I
mute.
just had it clicked
Yes,
on the
okay. Commissioner Jeffrey Boyd? No. Commissioner Freddie Dunlap? Yes.
Here.
Great. Commissioner Maurice Falls? No. Commissioner Jason Fletcher? Jason's here. I know I saw him. Yep, he's muted. Yeah. We see you. Commissioner Tom Gilmore is not here. Commissioner Judith Hansis.
Yes, here.
Oh, sorry, Linnea. This is Jason Fletcher. I was muted. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's great. I could see you talking. I could see your face. So that's great.
And I have the cell phone on. I'm sorry because my computer is giving me problems with sound. So I'm on the cell phone and my computer.
Okay, so yeah, that's complicated then. Okay, so I'm here, and then Commissioner Bruce Yampolsky. Yeah, I don't think he's here today, unfortunately. Okay, so let's go on to the next thing we have here then, which we did not meet in January. So we've got the Soldiers Memorial Commission meeting minutes from November 18th, 2021 to approve, if you want to look through them. And we can then take a motion if there's one to approve or whatever.
I move to approve the minutes of the November meeting.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second that.
Okay,
Second that.
all those in favor of approving the November 18th, 2021 meeting minutes as shown here, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? No. Any abstentions? Okay, it passes. Thank you so much. So let's just go back to the, see here. There we go. Let's go back to the agenda then. And what we've got then is if Mark is going to tell us about what's going on at Soldiers Memorial in terms of operations, exhibits, programs, and the collection as well. And we haven't met since November, and I think there's some things going on, I'm sure, since I've met with Mark a few times in the last few weeks. I know there is. So go ahead, Mark, take it away.
All right, thank you, Linnea. I will give you a report out here. Let's start with operations. I think the, excuse me, the probably the biggest change is the change in the COVID protocol. Masks are no longer required to be worn in the museum. Of course, people can if they would like. We wouldn't stop people from wearing masks, but they're no longer required. And then we are currently working on hiring a part-time limited term oral historian. And this will be a really important position for us. Primarily, it's a kind of a project-based position to collect additional oral histories that will be included in the Vietnam exhibition. We have a number of those oral histories already recorded, but there are more that we would like to capture. So this person will be doing that, but then also this individual will be, if you recall, there's a room in the lower level that was established during the renovations to be used for the collection of oral histories. And so this individual will be helping us finally establish that as a studio where we can capture these oral histories. So that's pretty exciting. So we'll get the Vietnam oral histories that we need, but then also get that established. So we'll be more flexible and more kind of efficient, I guess, in collecting oral histories and getting them into the collection. So that's all good news. As far as exhibits go, Vietnam development continues. It opens on Veterans Day, November 11th, 2022. So it's just what is that, 8 months away, or not quite 8 months, less than 8 months now. So that'll come fast. Currently, the major focus is on the development of the multimedia interactives, and there are a number of them included in the exhibition. So they're working with some companies that do that type of work. They're like touchscreen interactives. So they'll be working with some contractors to get that work done. And of course, Mike has the responsibility of providing the content that goes into those interactives. As far as the artifacts go, they've all gone through, or I think, Kate, you can probably correct me, I think all of them have gone through the conservationists. Maybe there's some more to go.
Everything's gone through conservation here, except for one piece that has a little bit that we might do to it after some. Mike's hopefully going to be working with some Vietnamese contacts to help us with that, to make sure that we have an accurate replica. And then there's a couple pieces that are currently at a textile conservator offsite. But other than that, everything's been completed.
And then Kate's also been hard at work collecting a number of loans that have been arranged between primarily between Mike and the loaner of the artifact, and then Kate steps in to actually collect the artifact and house it until it will go into the exhibition. So all of that work is incredible how much work goes into exhibition development. It's a process that started well over a year ago, and we're still 8 months out, but so much has been done and so much still yet to do, but it's all progressing nicely.
Mark?
Yes, Judith.
I wanted to ask Katie if she has the Vietnam Memorial piece from the MAC yet?
I do.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Excellent.
Hey, Linnea, I want to just, sorry to go back, but unless I missed it, which I don't think I did, I was here, we missed the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh my gosh, we sure did. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, yeah. So how should we do this? I'm very sorry about that. I don't even know what I was. Yeah, that's.
Are you okay? Yeah. We just got right into it, is what we did.
Well,
I'm happy to pause and take a step back.
maybe we should pause and we can maybe do that. And would you mind leading us in the pledge? I knew there was something wrong. I just had a feeling. Thank you so much, Jason. Would you mind leading us in the pledge?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the
of
flag,
the United
United
States
States
of
of
America,
America, and
and
to the republic which it
for
stands,
which it stands, one
Nation,
nation, under God,
God,
indivisible, with liberty
and
and
justice
justice for all.
for all.
Thank you so much. I don't think I've done that one before. Thank you very much. And so Mark, could
I'm
we?
sure.
Yeah, sorry about that. Could we resume then with you, Mark, talking about Vietnam?
You bet. So that's where that exhibition development is at this point, and so going nicely. And we're also going to be installing some panels up in room 206 and 207, which is up here on the second floor on the opposite end of the hallway from the Taylor Assembly Hall. And we've been working with our Teens Make History program, which is a long-standing program at the History Museum. And those teens have developed a panel exhibition on homelessness in the veteran community, and kind of looking at both the historic aspects of that and support that has gone or not gone to veterans when it was needed, and kind of where that situation is right now. So that is planned to open. It doesn't have artifacts, so it's not a a full-blown exhibition, but the panels will be very nice and educational. And we do a lot of partnerships, especially with Cassie Strom and the stand down events, and there's always some. Every year that we're doing some activities supporting veterans, and especially veterans who are in need of resources and things like that. So it'll be nice to have those panels in that space to help educate the public on what's needed and how some veterans get into this situation where they're really in a tough bind. So that'll open, and we expect that to open in July. So that'll be a nice addition. And as far as programmings go, we're starting to transition those back to in-person programs. Some of the more recent ones, we had a virtual program with Bahidan Peric, who is a Bosnian whose family fled Bosnia during the genocides in the 90s. His grandfather was actually killed at the Srebrenica, sorry, I'm not saying that properly, massacre as part of the ethnic cleansing that was happening there. So he shared that story. It's an incredibly complex history, the breakdown of Yugoslavia and how all that went. It gets very complex. So we had that program. Then we did a program, Canvas is the New Kashmir, which was a very interesting look at how military uniforms and parts or pieces of military uniforms have made their way into civilian clothing and kind of the clothing of everyday Americans. I think one example being like the trench coat, which was an important uniform item in World War I and named for the trenches that the soldiers were fighting and wearing those jackets in. And then of course that has become a well-known item. So that was a very interesting presentation, and used a lot of the talk about many of the artifacts in the collection. So that was fun. It's always nice when we can have programs that reach into the collections and get them more into the public eye, because we can't do it all with exhibits. So, and then just on Sunday we had first a hybrid program. So it was on the Zoom platform, but it was also in person here at Soldiers. And this looked at, it's called The Limits of Woman Power, Including and Excluding Women from Military Service. And it was, a presentation from Dr. Tanya Roth, who has written a book, Her Cold War, Women in the US Military, 1945 to 1980. The presentation on Sunday was particularly interesting. That she focused on two aspects, one which is pregnancy, and the other being sexual orientation. But certainly the pregnancy situation and how that was used to limit women in military service was a really interesting look, and I certainly learned a lot. And all of these virtual programs end up recorded and are available on the Mo History YouTube channels. I mean, and they go all the way back for as long as we've been doing virtual programs. So it's a great resource. So if you didn't make it Sunday, or you certainly can still view those through that YouTube channel.
Yeah, Mark, I would like to say Tanya Roth, she actually, we did a Women in the Military exhibit, I think back in 2010, and she worked with me on that exhibit. So that's seems like 1,000 years. It's been a long time ago now, but yeah, so she was still a graduate student when she was doing that. And so that name is kind of familiar. I'm gonna have to look her up and see where she's at.
Yeah, she came to us from one of our board members who connected me with her. And so if any of you have connections or people who think would give a great presentation, we're always all ears on that. People who have unique experiences or have studied particular topics, we're always happy to hear those ideas. It helps us, and so we are very open to recommendations. Upcoming next week, Tuesday, March 29th, a virtual program, National Vietnam War Veterans Day. So every year annually on March 29th, it's National Vietnam War Veterans Day. And this year, our curator, Mike Benson, will be taking a look at this day, how it was developed and role that St. Louis played in its development. And then on April 8th, our volunteers have actually taken the charge on developing a program. It's on National Siblings Day, which I didn't know a thing. I'm going to need to tell my brothers about this. But anyway, it's National Siblings Day, and they're going to present a program, Siblings in Service. And there are a number of artifacts in the collection that came from families and from siblings who have served. So they're going to talk about their history of these individuals, and it's kind of been exciting. Our volunteers do a great job of connecting to families in the community, and they've identified the families of these siblings that had served. It's a couple different families, and they're going to be coming in for the program to hear that. So it's kind of a neat thing, and it's a great way to keep our volunteers engaged and keep them active. And then later in April on the 13th, National Former Prisoner of War Recognition Day. And this is a partnership with the POW MIA Museum, which is located down in Jefferson Barracks. They've been long, just for the past few years, and probably before that, we've had a really nice relationship with them. And so, we mutually support each other's work. So, and then in May, there's on Civil War is going to be a bike ride. It's a collaboration with TrailNet, which is the local bicycling organization, and us and the National Park Service down at the Arch, and they'll be riding the route from the Camp Jackson affair back in May of 1861, which basically goes from SLU University and connects down here to Soldiers Memorial, and then down to the Arch grounds, and then down to the Arsenal. So they're helping. It's a nice collaboration with that TrailNet group, and that'll get a lot of people involved. They get very good turnout for their rides. And then of course, Memorial Day is in May, so that'll be here before we know it. And we're really excited about this. This is quickly becoming, one of my favorite days of the year to be at Soldiers Memorial and to, remember service and those who lost their lives in defense of the nation. And we're carrying over a lot of elements from last year, but we have some new elements as well. Liberty Winds, which is the wind ensemble of the U.S. Air Force Band of Mid-America, will be playing a concert outdoors. We are going to read the names of the individuals memorialized on the Korean War Monument. Last year, we focused on the World War I monument. This year, we're going to be focusing on the Korean War Monument. And the education staff are creating a message board where individuals can write messages to those who have served or those who have lost their lives, or some way to get some public engagement in a way that they can kind of leave a note and engage with the memorialization kind of process. And then also part of that will be bringing more awareness to the commemorative brick programs and the bricks down on. We think that probably there's not real great awareness of that. So I think that will help with that awareness raising on that program. And then we'll have the carnations available as we did last year for placement on the memorials. We'll be placing the flower wreaths at each of the 5 memorials. And then of course the small flags in the court of honor again. So it should shape up to be another very nice day. And then finally, as in terms of programs, Linnea, myself, and Travis Hauser had a really great meeting. Oh, this is where my days start to run together, Linnea. I think it was on Monday or Tuesday of this week.
It was Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
With representatives from Honor Flight, the St. Louis Regional Honor Flight, and they had contacted Travis with they said they wanted to do a big event around Veterans Day, and Travis thankfully said, well, you should be partnering with the city of St. Louis and Soldiers Memorial and the Missouri Historical Society on the Veterans Day Parade and the observance. And so they're very excited about that. And we had a great meeting, and it was just a kind of initial kickoff meeting, but they're going to go back to their people and talk about what Honor Flight could do, or how they could be much more deeply involved with the day, with the parade and the observance and whatnot. So that was great news. They have, solid organization. They're very well known. So they'll help raise awareness and get more involvement in the parade and the ceremony.
Yeah. And they're going to, hopefully, they're going to be doing some sort of event. I'm not exactly sure what that's going to look like, but I think they're going to bring a lot of people down for the observance, hopefully. And also they do a really good job, I think, with publicity. So that might also be a really good thing for us as well, among other things.
And then since the parade will be on November 5th, which is the Saturday prior to Veterans Day, which is the long-standing tradition. But that actually, and I had emailed Judith, I think I talked to Lene about this a little bit, but it gives us almost a full week really to create a nice buildup to the actual Veterans Day, starting with the parade and the ceremony on the 5th, and then stringing together a number of programs that lead up and culminate to the actual Veterans Day and the opening of the Vietnam exhibition here at Soldiers. So I think that's pretty exciting. So we're going to start working on that, getting all those ideas developed. It should be a nice day and really a great week.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I was thrilled when we think of Honor Flights. Think it's going to be a really great organization, and the people we met with were very enthusiastic and helpful and excited as well. So this would be a good way to get some organizations like Honor Flights, maybe starting more of them back involved in the planning and participating in the Veterans Day observance too. So, yeah.
And then just a couple of last things. Tours are really starting to pick back up. We've seen some school groups coming back, and some of the different adult facilities, adult daycare and organizations like that have been coming back around. So those are all very encouraging. We had a tour this morning with students from Washington University who are studying landscape architecture. So we had Matt Snelling, who was one of the lead landscape architects during the restoration. He was here and I was here, and we had about 10 of the students. We walked around the grounds and talked a lot about especially the Court of Honor and the changes that were made there in terms of the landscape. And it's very interesting and kind of a neat tour opportunity, because, usually we're rightfully focused on history. That's what we do. We're a history museum. And but to talk about, kind of the building itself and the restoration and all that, that's always a treat. That's always a fun conversation. And then on this Saturday, we're having a discovery tour. The discovery tour is a program that operates out of the History Museum, but they are coming to Soldiers Memorial for a couple of visits that are looking at architecture in the city, especially during the project buildings or other places that were impacted by the Works Projects Administration. So they'll be coming to Soldiers for that. So that'll be a fun trip as well. And then I just wanted to say overall, continue to just be so impressed with the small but mighty team that's focused on Soldiers, whether it's Kate and Ella with the collections or Mike and Abby and all the exhibition development work that they're doing. But I'm really excited about the education and community engagement team that's kind of taking shape, and that's Lydia Prebish and Lindsay Davis and Andrew Schleicher, and they're just bringing renewed energy, organization, a really strong commitment to excellence. They're very ambitious. They want to do great things, and so it's really nice to have that team finally fully in place, and now they're really starting to get their legs underneath them after they all came on board. Lindsay was the last one. She came on board in November, so they're really finding themselves and are doing great things for soldiers. And then Karen, I'm gonna put you on the spot for a moment, if that's okay, to just talk about the award that you picked up. You're muted.
Sorry about that. Last week was the National Museum Build Conference, which is held annually. It's in, I think, like its 24th year. And this year, the conference was in Washington, D.C. But each year they select a group of architects and museum professionals to review recent projects across the country in museum construction, renovation, building projects. And they honor 2 or 3 projects each year. And this year, one of the projects they decided to honor was Soldiers Memorial renovation, and particularly for the accessibility and the sustainability that was built into it. And several of us locally last year were invited and spoke at the Universal Design Conference. And Stan Brown was on that team, as was Matt Snelling, Mark, myself, and one of the members of the selection committee heard the presentation, and we were nominated and then were selected to receive the award. And so there was a very nice ceremony a week ago today in Washington, D.C., where we received that award in recognition.
So cool. Thank you, Karen.
Congratulations. Well
Yes.
deserved.
Thank you.
I second that. Congratulations. How exciting.
All right, that closes my remarks. I'll turn the floor back over to you, Lynette.
Okay, does anybody have any questions or new business or announcements they want to bring up? No, okay. Seeing no questions, new business or announcements, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So
I make a motion
moved.
to adjourn.
Okay, can I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor of adjourning the March 24th, 2022 Soldiers Memorial Commission meeting, say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? No. Any abstentions? Okay, thank you very much. I adjourn the meeting, and it is 3:32 p.m. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Hey, bye.
Hi, everybody.